All
right, we're recording.
Hey, Shayna. Good to see you. Hey, Grizz.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to see everyone.
Good to see y'all. I don't know if a few other folks are going to pop in or not, but this is really just kind of very quickly to just kind of get the ball rolling on some things ahead of next week, which is, I guess, like that'll be our official first meeting for the semester. But we have a few other things that we've kind of been working on since, the end of last semester, heading into this semester, just that we wanted to talk about. Let's begin with Aruba and this sort of advocacy issue that we're talking about for our critical issues class.
Okay, yeah. So one of the second year part-timers, Jean Lee, she brought up, we all felt the same way, and we discussed this off record in our final meeting before break began, on how critical issues played out for the part-timers and how none of us were happy with the course. Even though the professor was great, she's a great person, but we just didn't feel like we learned what we were supposed to learn, or we didn't get enough out of that that class. And a lot of people were dissatisfied with how that course was taught to us and what we were supposed to learn, including myself. So we kind of want to know, I mean, Rebecca, feel free to pitch in, because it's kind of a very sensitive issue, and we want to bring it to the administration, but we want to do it in such a way we're not like, openly criticizing anyone or hurting their feelings or stepping on any toes, but we also want to raise this concern because many students felt that way. Probably majority of the entire class, who took the class with Kia Gregory, felt that it was just not suffice in any kind of way. We did not get, and we were like sort of cheated out of that class. So she was suggesting that we as part-timers should be given like a media boot camp or some kind of a class that replaces that critical issues course this semester, because it's an important course and we should have been taught certain skills and things that we did not learn in that course. I don't know who originally teaches that class.
Have you guys spoken to full-timers to know what their experience was with critical issues?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I can.
It's gonna be the first thing you need to do, because you need to figure out what they were learned, what they were taught. So Shayna would be a perfect, anybody.
Have that class.
You haven't had that class?
Oh,
in this semester I just have business and history and then my seminars, so we don't have it.
You don't have critical issues?
Unless it has another title, but
does it have ethics as another title?
Ethics,
that's it.
Yeah, I took ethics.
Okay.
Is ethics taught by Bruce Shapiro?
Yeah, and my class was great.
Yeah, see, Bruce Shapiro is a good professor because he's been teaching for several years.
That's not a problem. Yeah. Then what you need to do is you need to find out what the curriculum. Do you guys have, Shayna, do you or Kate have a syllabus or what your class reading?
So it was under courseworks, but he closed it off. I can check if he extended courseworks for me.
Yeah, if you can take a screenshot and give it to them so that they have something to compare with. So you need to do the comparison first. Then the approach should be that you would like to have a revision consideration of the part-timers one. You felt and it lay it out that it hasn't, the instructor followed whatever your curriculum was, but in comparison to the full-timers, this is what you felt, and then list out the things that you felt was different from the part-timers and the full-timers, and make the suggestions of how to change it.
Okay.
He took it off courseworks. So, but if you reach out to him,
I have it. I can give it to you.
Okay, cool. You can just put it in the chat or something, so then we can just download it directly.
Yeah, it might be like I might have to take screenshots because I think Shayna, you're talking about there's like no physical.
Okay, or then feel to
but I can shoot you an email with it.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah.
But there's also like the biggest component of like why our class is good is might not be on the actual like syllabus, because like the majority of the class was just discussing ethical issues that people have faced every day are reporting, and things going on in the world that are important. So like, I don't know if that's actually included on the syllabus, but the most of it was open for discussion to talk about what we wanted to talk about, I thought was important or challenging.
What kind of assignments did you guys get, like homework or any like projects? Because just kind of want to know.
Yeah, so every week there would be one group that presented a different ethical case, historical one, and then they would go through everything and then have discussions and a lot of really good questions and like kind of bringing it into today. But that was only like a quarter of class, and then the rest of class was like bring your problems to class and talking about a bunch of different other stuff.
Okay,
And
so
there was a weekly discussion component as well, where you had to do like, you know, like a 250 word response to some prompt that he gave you.
okay, I mean, yeah, our class covered the discussion part, but we were not heavy on assignments. We did not have like a group project every week. We did not have a discussion posted online. We did have a few speakers. I think we had one or two, like one speaker, the one that I remember, Ade. But we just, I guess the level of the workload just didn't seem right. And I guess it just, like, none of us kind of knew what we were supposed to get out of that class. We were all kind of lost.
We
Yeah.
didn't have a heavy workload either, but I think that it wasn't supposed to feel like this like burden of all these assignments. Like I
Okay.
talked to him after the class ended, and he said it's supposed to be about bringing that historical context and talking about where you are, what problems you're facing. It's just talking through issues. And so yeah, we had a discussion post, but it wasn't like burdensome. Wasn't a lot of work.
Okay.
It was only 300 words, and like you only did one group assignment. So like I didn't go until like the second to last week or so. So like you didn't have homework necessarily up until then, just some readings. But it still felt like I got a lot out of the class itself.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Do you guys also have any correspondence from the professor about your final projects, like any materials or information or guidance or anything like that, or
So
notes about what you're doing? Yeah, or like your final, like whatever your final project may have been, if you had a final.
Yeah, so he told us at the beginning what it would be, and it was just like another discussion post, but longer. So it was more about like you creating your own like ethical rules that you want to abide by kind of thing. So it wasn't like a final assignment necessarily. It was just kind of like a normal homework assignment that you're supposed to spend longer on and really think into. But it was, yeah, he told us about it at the beginning and then told us a couple weeks in advance again.
Interesting.
Well, this is helpful. Okay. Yeah, this is good.
I'm going to be honest, this particular class, you guys aren't going to have much influence for change because it is the only class that is flexible, because every class has been different. Like my class was different than all of your classes. We had a reading assignment and then we had to react to it. And we did like 5 papers. So like, it's really based on the objection of them introducing some kind of critical thinking of ethics.
Okay.
But they need to know your experience because it seems to be a collective, and you guys had a lot of conversation right before the meetings about your experience with it. So I think you need to talk a little bit about that. Yeah, because you guys had like a shock reaction that went a little bit farther than normal. And I think that's the part that needs to be highlighted.
And if you guys want to talk about it at all, like separately of this, I'm happy to do a more thorough review of things. But I do agree with Shana that we really were, it was a very flexible class, but also we had, 3 or 4 other competing courses at the same time. So like, it still felt like enough for us. But if I was, if that was what I was actually going for and it was one of 2 classes I was focused on, I would have absolutely felt like there was more that could have been done, or I would have put more into some of the things I was doing for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to implement, just realistically speaking, like an entire media boot camp for us this semester. I don't see that being something that they would.
I'm confused about that. You thought that was part of critical issues?
Oh no, so the student who raised this issue, Jean Lee, the second year part-timer, she suggested that because she felt like cheated out of the course, that we have like a media boot camp in replace of that class this semester to fulfill that requirement in a proper sense. Yeah.
Okay, well that's going to be requested that they're not going to understand, but at making a separate request for that, they could probably do a 3-week boot camp. They've done it in the past, and it could be mid-semester on. So if you ask now, if you guys didn't get any kind of boot camp at all?
Sorry, yeah. So I mean, we've had a few. We've had some boot camps. We had the boot camp over the summer, but I was just going to say, I think that could be a request that we kind of make separately to this. Like almost say like it's not like we're being deprived out of something, or like we need this because we were screwed out of it from another class. I think they would be very open to it if we just suggested like that's something we've heard from students. And then I think keeping this separate, doing a revisions consideration, we can probably get it in if we do the comparisons now and we see like you know, for us, it's just a structural thing. We really felt that Kia or whichever professor teaches this course, they just need to be a little bit more upfront with what the final project is going to look like, kind of like how it sounds like they were in Shayna's class. Like everything was like from the very beginning, it's just going to be an expanded thing of what we've already worked on. I just feel like we didn't get any sort of structure in that course. And they need to kind of have a chat with whoever's teaching those classes like this semester.
That's fair.
You know, future students to like get that a little bit more structure for them, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Like it was just very unclear, and the final project was so unclear that I texted Chris. I was like, "What are we supposed to do?" And he's like, "I've never been so lost in my life." But I'm like, "Okay," because I'm not the only one. So yeah.
That's fair. Totally fair.
So all right, so maybe take a look at those things, and if there's like very noticeable like in the screenshots that Kate will send to you, Aruba, like very noticeable things that you can compare to the syllabus that we had. Just like clearly there's more structure in the full-time one, or things that you see that would have been very helpful. Maybe we can just like zoom in on those things, send that in an email to Leanne and I. And then, yeah, how about, I mean, if you guys don't mind, Kate, if you said you don't mind joining in on those conversations, maybe Shayna, if you don't mind too, maybe just include all of us in that email, Aruba, and then maybe we can,
Okay.
I don't know, do you think, Rebecca, Melanie is the right person to go to that?
No, that one would be Laura Muha, because she's in charge of
Laura Muha. Okay.
Yeah, it would be Whitney. Is her name Whitney? What's the new Sheila?
Winnie.
Winnie. It'll be Winnie and Laura Muha.
Winnie.
This is the academic part. Anything dealing with class is Winnie and Laura Muha. And I really say Laura Muha because she's the creator of all the classes. She's the keeper of the classes.
Okay.
So it would be those two people.
So maybe if you want to like outline sort of a rough email, send it to us first, and we can kind of like play around with it. Then maybe you and Leanne can
if you want to be nice, I would copy Melanie, because at some point they're going to come to Melanie and be like, who, you know, what's the status of these students? Like, are they, some SPJs are all wine with no substance, but you guys aren't. It'd be nice for her to be in the know.
Cool.
Yeah, and I know you wanted to do that, Aruba, like quickly, so feel free to, you know, and you can WhatsApp Leanne too if you want, and let her know like we're working on this already now or whatever.
Okay, cool, we'll do.
Sweet. And it looks like Kate
just sent it. Yeah, I'm just downloading it as we speak. Thank you, Kate.
Awesome.
I need to stop archiving everything. It's a nightmare in my inbox, but it's still there.
Same here. My iCloud storage is full.
Cool. So another thing that I wanted to let you guys know that we're working on is, I don't know if you've heard about Andrea Sahori, the alum, Columbia alum who was arrested during the George Floyd protests. She's like one of the only journalists in the country still facing charges for being there and getting arrested. And so Elena, the part-time director, invited me to like this call during the break with some folks who are doing some advocacy for it. And they basically asked, you know, how can SPJ get involved? So, I mean, it's interesting because my company is doing this like journalism is not a crime campaign, because one of our journalists actually got arrested at the same protests, and he had his charges dropped. So they agreed to let me interview Andrea for like a story that we're going to publish. And then I think, Rebecca, if you're cool with it, I know Elena said, you know, Melanie would probably be fine with it too. We'll send out like a letter maybe next week to the student body, urging them to call like the local, you know, local county prosecutor, whoever it is, and ask them to drop the charges. They have like an upcoming council, like town hall meeting, that someone we know is going to be speaking on behalf of Andrea. So like trying to get our students to kind of like write into the town hall and, and you know, like
you guys would be writing what's called a letter of support, an SPJ.
Exactly.
SPJ Columbia chapter letter of support, and then there you can put a point of action.
Perfect. Yeah. So we'll talk about that next week, because I mean, I want this to kind of come from all of us. So yeah, if you guys also want to like brainstorm any other ideas, I'll forward you this email that I'm on, this email thread with like everyone and all the kind of planning that's going on around it. But yeah, there's just a few different like calls to action that we're thinking of, like calling the city council, calling local prosecutors, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about that. And then the only other thing SPJ related was just the buddy system. I just wanted to let you guys know that there was like a perfect amount of buddies. Like there were like 31 incoming students, and then no, there were 33 incoming students, and then 31 students, I think, or 30 students who were already in the program. So I just like randomly selected a couple folks from SPJ. So sorry if you had to get on. I know Shayna was one. I figured, Shayna, you probably just were so busy that you didn't see the email or whatever, and you probably didn't. Yeah. But yeah, a few people kept me on those email chains, and it was really nice seeing everyone forming buddies and new friendships. So that was cool.
So Chris, with other mentor programs I've been part of, the thing that's helped is an email reminder to the big brother sisters, and another separate one to the little brother sisters, like reminder, remember, and the starting classes, something like a subject, like maybe talk to them about time management. Just give them ideas of little things to give them insight when you guys think about what your first experience, your first semester was.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, I'll send something like that this week.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like Wednesday.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because it's so much easier to approach a person if you have material to do it, and doing it cold maybe for some of these people, like some of them may already be talking to them and giving them the whole spiel, and they're like, oh my God, am I going to survive? Maybe that's the other reminder. Be gentle, don't overwhelm. Because you all remember how last semester was.
Yeah, good advice. Cool. All right, awesome. Is there anything else, Aruba maybe, or anyone that we should have talked about? Oh, and the website redesign. So we just did not get to that over the holiday, to be completely honest. But I think that's something that we can work on. I think there's a lot happening this week, so maybe this weekend we can really dig into it. I think we just need to change the website and then run with it and see how it looks and fix all the changes. And by the time we get out of here and graduate, hopefully it'll be in like really clean, magnificent standing, that would be my goal. Does anyone have any questions or anything? And then we can, I think, stop the recording and just quickly organize for some non-SPJ stuff.
When is the potential merchandise, J School merchandise sale? Is that going to be the beginning of next week? Because I know you said no pickups.
No, this is what's going to happen. This is the order.
Okay.
Next Tuesday, we're going to announce the contest, the design contest.
Okay.
We're going to give it a week. The week after that, we'll vote on it, and then I'll send it on to the university to get approval. The week after that, we will, so in 3 weeks, we will begin selling.
Okay.
And we'll sell for 2 weeks, and then everything's going to be mail out, because I'm going to get it shipped to my office, because I'm going to fulfill the orders so that no one is having to come to the school to pick it up. And
yeah, I got into that. No pickups and no international mailing. Got it.
Right.
Okay.
And the price is going to be $48, and that's going to include the shipping and handling.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
And we're going to go through all of that again next week. Sorry, go ahead, Shayna.
Yeah, I just had a quick question, because I know we wanted to like make it like very simple, like one item kind of thing. But I also know at the beginning we were talking about having like kind of traditional sweatshirt and then like a t-shirt that is more like Aruba had some designs and Leanne was getting really in on that. Is that still even a possibility, just to get a clear mind?
No t-shirts yet. We're going to do t-shirts a little bit later, but we could do a second thing. I was thinking, and that one we don't have to get a contest. It's within the board. We can do a mug or a notebook. We can do some additional swag, merchandise. We just have to officially do a contest with the sweatshirt design, because every class designs their own. We try to make it unique. There's been 3 years of the 14 that I've done that they've had to go to my default design. So we have a design if no one sends anything, but Aruba's already sent some stuff. So we have stuff ready for the board to board on, but we just officially have to announce and give anybody a chance to design.
Awesome.
Do you want me to do a post for next Tuesday or?
Yep. I will give you, let me email you the parameters that
Okay.
we're now bound to because of last year's class.
Gotcha. I remember you told us.
Yeah, well, just basically you can't mess with the crown and you can't have writing on the crown. That's the big one. The second thing is you have to have either Columbia Journalism School or Columbia Journalism.
Okay.
Those are the 2 big rules.
Can you email me that information so I can? Okay, perfect.
Rebecca, I have a question. What is the company that does this for us? Like,
there are a couple of we have a choice of 4 that the university allows us to, because what happens is that we can't go off on our own. For any merchandise to say Columbia or anything, they have to be an approved vendor, which means they pay for a licensing fee, which means it gets passed on to us.
Got it.
So there are four companies that we're allowed to use. So what I will do is I will bid for them and see who gives us the best price. Yeah.
Cool.
And is 48 like your ballpark, you think, with mailing? Like,
yeah,
best price?
I already priced it out because we're probably going to pay about $25 to $28, and mailing and shipping is going to be probably $12 to $15. So I want to get at least like $4 or $5 from each shirt for the SPJ padding. So maybe we can actually use money this year to do something. If anything, we can buy a graduation gift for the each individual class. Some years we've had extra money, so we've bought, like, one year, so the president campaigned on making sure there was going to be a stapler in every room when we used to have rooms. Staplers were a big problem for several years. So for the class of 2016, we bought every single student a little mini stapler.
Well, that's cute.
So yeah, but we need to have some money on the account to do that. So that's why I want to be able to get about $5 to $7 from each sweatshirt to be able to do something.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I don't think that's too expensive for like a custom design sweat.
No, it's not. And we have traditionally sold them at $40. And that was when we were trying to get money for our holiday ball. So that's why I don't want to pad it
too, right?
I'm sorry?
48 would include mailing.
Yes,
well.
that's why it includes the mailing. So basically the price really is like $37, $38, which is still cheaper than the bookstore.
So what if, like, you ordered 2, like, let's say you're like, mom,
you would pay for both, because I'm not getting into a separate mailing charge because it's already gonna be hard enough that I'm the only one doing it. So I just want to pack, I actually probably will pack each one in its separate bag with stamps.com, and then just have the USPS come and pick up all of them. And if it's a mug, I have to figure out the mailing for the mug and how much the boxes are going to be.
Right, because I feel like that is going to add up. Like if you get also a mug and you're paying for like $12 shipping on a sweatshirt, $12 shipping on a mug, and then if like someone else wanted,
I mean, I'll look at it, and if you buy like 3 or more, I may have a separate price. I have to figure it out. This is all new for me, guys, because I'm also feeling the heat from alumni, because traditionally we have sold separate stuff at alumni weekend and then again at graduation. And so we didn't do any of that last year. And so now I have 32 requests for orders. So I'm feeling I need to do it a simple way, because traditionally a class will buy, we'll have about 110 orders plus the other orders I'll get. So I'm looking at anywhere between 150 to 200 orders. That's 200 people, not just the orders. Some orders are really big, some orders are small. Majority only buy one sweatshirt. I'd say those that buy 3 or more is probably 15 of them. So, I mean, I could create some kind of other price per, it'll be cheaper if you buy more than one.
Yeah, and I think there'd be more incentive to buy like, one for your parents or something
Yeah.
like that. Like if you don't have to pay an extra $12 every time.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we do our media blitz or our marketing blitz, we have to let them know this is a one-time thing. It's not like a store where they can reorder, and that's been problematic in past years when it's live, and it's going to even be more problematic because I will get a lot of people. Oh, I have someone from the class of 2020 who has emailed me 7 times that they want a class of 2020 sweatshirt, and I'm like, I don't have that. So we need to just make sure they understand this is a volunteer effort and it's a one-time thing. Get it now.
Yeah. Cool. We'll be super clear.
Yeah.
Got it.
Awesome.
But
All
yeah,
right.
Thanks, Shayna. I will let me look into the postal rates of how much it'll be and me get a couple of and do some weighing here and to see if I can, if you buy three or more, it drops down to $42 or something like that. Yeah.
Love the deal.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right,
So
I guess we can
stop recording.
Yeah.
All right.